Time for another installment of 2020 favorites. Today is going to be makeup favorites. Tomorrow should be skincare, body care, hair care favorites, because I don't have a ton of body and hair care. I mean, I guess I have a decent amount, but I figure I'll just throw them into one video because I have Beauty Heroes that I got to do on Friday, and then I'll have the second installment of my Mahalo ritual video on Saturday, so you guys get a video pretty much every day this week. But yeah, so we're doing makeup favorites today, and since I need to put makeup on anyway because we're gonna go out and grab some lunch, I decided to just do it get ready with me style. So obviously I'm not putting all of my favorites on my face, but I will be telling you about all of my favorites. Okay, so let's get started. So my first favorite would be primer favorites, and the only primer that I really used, I did use one from Vapor, their mattifying primer, but it hasn't become like a favorite. It's nice, but I mean, it's not one that I would probably rebuy. This one I'll rebuy because I really like this one. It's the Alima Pure Smooth and Prime, and I don't think it's meant to be pore filling, but for me, I kind of find that it is. And I like to do this before I use any of my powder foundation. So I do it in the areas where the pores of my face are, you know, the biggest. But as far as primers go, this is really the only one that I used and loved this year. I'll talk about the Vapor primer at another time. I did use that one quite a bit, but it doesn't beat this one out in terms of like favorite primer. So yeah, I just sort of like press it into my pore areas before I get started on my foundation favorites. So while I let that sit, I'll tell you about my liquid foundation favorites. And these aren't favorites individually, but they're a favorite together. I'm sure you guys know what it is. So it's the Fit Glow Vita Active Foundation, which I mix with the Kosas Tinted Face Oil. I don't like either of these on their own. They just don't work for me separately, but together I really like them because the Fit Glow one gives me this sort of like that skin-like finish, and it doesn't look too heavy and full coverage, but it doesn't have enough coverage, which is why I like to add the Tinted Face Oil. So the Tinted Face Oil on its own sits in my pores, and I don't really like the way it looks on my skin, but when I mix these two together, some magic happens where it just creates like this skin-like finish that is it's a nice coverage. It's not full. It's probably like medium full, which is fine for me. I like my skin to show through. I don't really like to look like a blank canvas, really. You know, my skin has got some imperfections, but I kind of like that my skin looks, you know, skin shows through it, but it doesn't look, but it just looks more even. Really, that's what I'm like trying to get at. But I like these two. That's my favorite liquid combination, or my favorite liquid overall, because I did try some other liquid foundations this year, but they just weren't super duper favorites. So my first foundation favorite is the Alima Pure Loose Powder Foundation, which I think I finished because I can't find it. So I'm pretty sure that I finished it, which is why I started using the pressed version, and I'm really loving this as well. So these were my two powder foundation favorites for the year. Again, I used other powder foundations, but these are like my absolute two favorites. So it's the loose powder, the Satin Matte Foundation from Alima Pure, and the pressed. I think it's just called the pressed. Yeah, it's just the pressed foundation. And the shade that it works the best for me is Sesame, which is what this is. So that's what I'm going to be using right now. We're going to be using the Sesame foundation, or the pressed, the Alima Pure pressed. I really like this. I really like the finish. It gives me like nice coverage. I am broken out in a few places, which is unfortunate. I'm apparently broken out like down here. How does that even happen? But yeah, it gives me nice coverage. The color match is really nice on me. I'm wondering if I'm more of like their beige versus their neutral. I do have a backup of Neutral 3, the loose powder, but I might pick up their beige and see if that's a better match for me, because I think the Sesame one leans more beige than it does neutral, and I find it's a better color match than neutral 3 is. So I might do that next year. So I'm gonna finish this and then we'll talk about concealers. Okay, so those are base products done. So concealers, when I'm using liquid concealers, these are the ones that are my favorites. First, I really like the peach corrector from Fit Glow. I'll leave the link that I did for that video down below, but it really helps cancel out, you know, under eye blueness in the under eyes. It's fabulous for that. So yeah, go watch that video. I really loved that this year. And then the 2 liquid concealers that I really like are the Fit Glow one and the Ilia one. Again, I used other liquid concealers, but these were just my absolute 2 favorites, the ones that I reached for the most, the ones that work the best for me. I don't need to mess around with them too much. There's not creasing. At least the Fit Glow one. I do powder them. I do powder them both, but I find that the creasing's pretty minimal, and I really don't mind, even if it does a little bit, because I'm just home all the time anyway. So my favorite powder concealer, the only powder concealer that I use and will ever use, because I don't plan on trying another one, is the Alima Pure Loose Powder Concealer. They do have a pressed cream concealer, but it is not, it's not my favorite. The formula of it's okay, but it's not, you know, like life-changing.
I like that.
What do you like?
You were saying when you decorate your eyes.
When I decorate my eyes?
And your eyelids.
My what?
Anything.
Or anything?
How silly.
Does it look silly? So I use that underneath my eyes, and then I do it around my nose or anywhere that I've got blemishes that like really need to be concealed. It works all over. And this will last you forever too. I've had this, I feel like, more than a year, and I've barely made a dent in it. You probably can't even tell, but I've barely made a dent in it. And I use it all the time because I do use powder more than I do liquid. So, I mean, I should go through that faster, but I don't.
Mom, and Pet and Jessie.
Your Pet and Jessie?
He's so cute.
And then my favorite powder, setting powder, was the Fit Glow Vita Set. I just have the one in translucent, which it's refillable, so you can just rebuy, you know, little bottom things right there. But yeah, I really like this, especially over liquid, but I do always set powder foundations as well. I just like it. I just like to set my powder foundations. So it works well over liquid, it works well over powder. The one I have is translucent, but they do have, you know, tinted versions as well. Okay, I always spray my face to set all of the powder. So while that's drying, we'll talk about my bronzer favorites, and then I'll figure out which one I want to use today. So my first favorite bronzer is the Kosas, is it Sun Show? I can never remember what this is called. It's the Kosas bronzer. I really love that. It's a little bit more luminous than some of the other ones that I've got. But I really like that. I kind of like that luminous golden glow that it gives. This is one of my most used bronzers. Another one of my most used bronzers is the Ilia Nightlight Bronzing Powder. This one is a matte, so I really like this as like a matte bronzer. I use that quite a bit. And another one of my favorites that I use quite often is the Alima Pure Loose Bronzer. And this one is in the shade Moana Loa. I do have this one, and I have the one that's directly lighter than this. I think this is the medium shade. I'm actually gonna go ahead and use this today. And I do really like the Alima Pure, the sculpting brush for this. And then, so this is a favorite, and then the Alima Pure foundation brush is also, it's also a favorite. I really love Alima Pure in general. I think I really came to like love the Alima Pure line, especially this year. I use it a ton. I have a ton of their products because I really love them. It's one of those lines where if I like quit blogging, I would just probably stick to strictly like Alima Pure. Maybe keep a few liquid products around, but for the most part, I mean, I was using powder before I got into blogging. You know, I used some like liquid stuff in high school, but it was bad. I should not have been using liquid products. So I didn't know what I was doing. All of the shades that I picked were like way too light. Not the right shades for me. But I did. I used powder products. Strictly Bare Minerals for 8 years before I got into blogging. And that's probably what I'd go back to because I just prefer, I do like some liquid stuff, but I do prefer powder products over liquid products. So I do gravitate towards those over much else. So I really like this, this one especially. I do around the perimeters of the face, and then I just do a little bit over the nose and the cheeks, just to bronze up, warm up that part of the face. But yeah, if you haven't tried Alima Pure, highly recommend. So now that we've bronzed, let's talk about cheek products. I love cheek products. I love blush. I love all kinds of blush. I mean, I don't really discriminate against, I mean, I don't think I prefer powder blushes over like cream blushes. I do really love cream blush as well, and I have so many favorites. So Alima Pure loose powder blushes, I really love them. I've got quite a collection of colors. I think I've got either 4 or 5. I really like them. They have matte finishes, they have satin finishes. They're all really beautiful, easy to work with. Loose powder especially is like easier to work with because you can really build it up. So I love the Alima Pure blushes. Antonym Lily is one of my #1 absolute favorite blushes of all time. It's a highlighting blush, so when I use this I don't need to use highlighter, and I love the color. It's so pretty. So pretty. So some cream ones that I absolutely love this year are Kosas 8th Muse. This is one of my most used. This is the original one, not the intense formula, but I do have the intense one and I do really like that one. The Fit Glow Lumi, the Lumi Pop thingies, whatever. These are my 2 favorites. Buff, which is like the best neutral, absolutely gorgeous. Like goes with everything. If you had like one cream blush in your entire collection and you wanted something to be like universal and would go with anything, it would be Buff. So pretty. And then Pop is one of my other favorites. So super bright and then very neutral and universal. I love those. I do wish they came in different packaging. I'm not crazy about the sphere packaging just because like it's like small, hard to get into. I do wish they were more like sticks or pans or something like that, but I mean, I love the formula of them and the colors are great, so I forgive them a little bit. I did also really like the Ilia multi-sticks this year. This one is in Tenderly, which is like a nice baby pink. And then this one is a Fine Romance, which is a more, I don't know, Merlot color, but I really love those. I do also have quite the collection of the Ilia multi-sticks and I really like them. I like the formula of them. They're really easy to blend. And then lastly, not leastly, the Axiology Lip to Lid Balmies. They do come in blush shades and highlighter shades, and I've got all of them. I still need to swatch them all because I've had them all for a while. But this is the, which one is this? This is the, I don't know, it's one of the trios. It's the one that contains champagne, peach, and clementine, and this is probably my favorite because I love peach. It's such a beautiful color. But those are really great as well. They're vegan, they're zero waste. The colors are really great. I just really love those. So I think I'm just gonna do the Alima Pure. I might just do all Alima Pure today. No, I mean, my eyes will be a little bit different. This is in the shade Honey Rose. So we're just gonna go in with like a rosy blush today. I'm not really sure what I'm doing on my eyes yet. I'm just kind of winging it. Whatever just feels like that I want to use. But I really love these. Like, they're easy to build up. You start small. You decide how intense you want the blush. Do you want it really intense? Do you just want it slightly intense? I do sometimes go over like my nose, just sort of like bring it all together. Got hair all over the place. So anyway, those are my favorite blushes that I really loved a lot this year and will continue to be favorites well into 2021. Really love all those things. Okay, so highlighters. Again, the Lima Pure highlighters. I've got, again, most of them, or not all of them at this point. Lumina is a favorite because it's very one of those like universal champagne-y shades. They do have like a gold shade, a pinky shade, but they just have a lot of really great shades and undertones. So whatever you like, if you like pink, if you like gold, if you like champagne, if you like sort of more neutral, Lumina's kind of like neutral. I also really loved the Ilia Daylight highlighting powder this year too. This one is very sort of like icy, but I really like that. Or it's like kind of like wet looking. Not so much icy, but like wet looking. I really loved that this year. I used that quite a bit. And then two favorites that actually kind of surprised me and will probably kind of surprise you because I talked about Kjaer Weis, I don't know, in September, and I haven't really talked about them since. There's just been a lot going on the last few months, and then this is something that I'll get back to in 2021. But I actually really like the Kjaer Weis highlighters. Sad to say. I don't know. I don't know. I guess it's not sad. I mean, because they're nice. These are my favorite products of all of the Kjaer Weis products. I've tried, I think, everything except like the lip liners, because I think all the lip liners have carmine in them. I can't remember. Or I just don't use lip liners that much either. But I do really like the Thick Glow lip liners. But yes, I was really surprised that I liked the Kjaer Weis highlighters as much as I did, both the cream and the powder. I don't remember what colors I have because the shades are behind the pans and they're like glued in here now, but I really like the cream highlighter. It's a really nice formula. It looks really beautiful on the skin and it even works well like over powders. And the powder highlighter, I also really like this shade especially, because again, it just looks sort of like, I don't know, it looks kind of like wet on the skin, but I just really like it. I really like it. And I don't know, again, which one. I think I'll just stick to Lima Pure. Because we're all mostly Lima Pure anyway. So here is Lumina, which is one of my favorites. I do reach for this one probably more than any of the others. Dolce is also really nice. Whisper when I'm liking, you know, like a pinky day. It's just a very nice highlighters. I don't think loose products get enough love. I feel like, I mean, pressed products are nice, and I do like pressed products as well, but I feel like there's so many great loose formulas out there, especially Lima Pure and, you know, whatever is left of Modern Minerals. I know she's sort of focusing more on hair care now and not so much the makeup, which does make me incredibly sad because I think she made like amazing makeup, but maybe it just didn't do as well for her. But there's a lot of really incredible like loose formulas out there, and I feel like people just don't give them, you know, enough love. They're always like, oh, that's just too messy and, you know, whatever else. It just makes me sad. Makes me sad. All right, so that's highlighter. That's what I loved for highlighters. So let's do brows, then we'll go eyeshadow and then mascara, and then we'll be done. Oh no, lips too. Okay, so my two favorite brow products this year, the ones that I pulled out the most and will rebuy, are the Pacifica Highest Def Hemp Fiber Brow Set, which is the one you guys see me use the most often. I think this is probably my favorite. It's affordable, it's vegan. I think they have at least 3 colors, I can't remember. But that one's definitely my favorite. And then the Ilia Essential Brow is also one of my favorites. This is a little bit more expensive, so if you want to splurge or you don't mind, but I think this one works pretty much, you know, they compare. The brush sizes are pretty similar, I think, or maybe the Ilia one. Oh, the Ilia one is a little bit bigger. You can see it there. Yeah, but I like both. I think both are really great. I'm going to use the Pacifica one today because that's the one I use. That's the one I use the most often. It's just so easy. I love brow gels. I really hardly ever use like pencils or pomades or anything at this point. Brow gels are just so much easier. You're done in like no time at all. And there's so many like great brow gel formulas. Still hoping that one day we're gonna see a Fit Glow brow gel. Until then, this one is a favorite. So see how easy that was? Whew. Haven't eaten yet today, my stomach's a little bit upset. Okay, so eye products. I loved a lot of eye products this year. Prisma palette, especially. I have quite the collection of Prisma palette shadows. You can mix and match and create any palette you want. This is like my blue and purple palette. Just such beautiful, vibrant colors. They're all vegan. They're all amazing. Another set of pressed palettes that I've really come to enjoy the last couple of months are the Johnny Concert pressed palettes. They've got, again, I think 5 or 6 different color combinations. I really love this one. I played with one on my channel a couple of weeks back. I'll link it below in case you want to watch it. But I really love those. They're super creamy and buttery, and they're very shimmery. So if you like shimmery eyeshadows, you'll really like those, I think. But if you prefer mattes, Prisma palette definitely has a ton of mattes, so I would go that direction. I also really loved the Lima Pure shade in Siren, especially. You know what? I also loved that I didn't pull out, ooh, I'm shaking everything, are the Lima Pure Loose. I only have the like limited collection, like the rainbow collection or whatever, the limited shades. I only have those, but I have been really enjoying them. I'm probably not gonna pick up any more, but I do really like the matte limited edition shades that they do have. Pretty sure they still have them available right now, but I do really like their pressed one in Siren especially. I just like this color. They do have some other pressed shades. I like the pressed formula, but what do I have? I have like 5 of them, but I do use Siren the most. Gressa Eye Tint in Envy was a favorite this year. I used this quite a few times on my channel. I just love that green. It's like super unique. And I love that formula of the eye tints. The Ilia Powder Chromatic Eye Tint. This one in Hatch especially, but I do really like the formula of those. And then the Kosas 10-second eyeshadows. 333 is one of my most used, but I also really love Fahrenheit and Globe. A lot of really great colors, but these are super simple, easy. They take like no time at all. And then a recent favorite that I've been wearing a lot recently is the Meet the Press eyeshadow from the Organic Skin Co. in Bamboo. This is just like the perfect neutral shade. This is what I'm gonna do today, actually. The brush that I have here has like glitter all over it, which I forgot that I used a silver eyeshadow with this brush the last time that I used it. Hopefully it should be all right. But this is like the perfect neutral lid shade, and I've been wearing it a ton recently. It's sort of like if you want one neutral shade that goes with everything, if you want a universal shade, I would suggest checking this one out. I really like the formula. It does have a little bit of like a sheen, but it's just like, it's perfect. At least I think so. For me, it's perfect. When I just want, when I just want to do something simple with like, that gives a little bit of definition, looks really great with whatever I'm wearing, and I don't really have to like think about it too much. I just like throw it on and blend it out. This is what I am, this is what I'm choosing because it looks great. I know I talked about this in a recent video, and then, well, I said along those lines, like I found like the perfect neutral lid, and then I didn't give any details. But here it is. This is the one that I was talking about in that video if you asked. Because I know at least one person was like, what is it? I'm so bad about like putting details for like what makeup I'm wearing underneath. Because half the time I film them and then just like forget what I'm wearing. But I mean, I obviously didn't forget this, but I just didn't. I'm not good at detailing what I put on down below either. If that's something that you want me to do next year, is like detail what I'm wearing, let me know and I'll work on it. But anyway, that's that. That is my most recent favorite neutral lid color. When I don't know what else I want to wear, but I want to wear something on my eyes, that is what I'm grabbing. Should I come in a little bit closer so you guys can see it? It's really pretty. I really like it. This is like the perfect, for me, it's for me, the perfect neutral lid color. Okay, so mascaras. My 3 favorites from the year were the Fit Glow Big Lash Mascara. I really like this one. It's vegan, gives you really big voluminous lashes when you want that. Sometimes I do, and that's the one that I pull out because I find that that gives the best like mega volume. You have to be careful with it because sometimes it can turn a little bit spidery, but as long as you're, you know, like aware of that and you don't do too much, it looks really good. The Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara has a cool brush that volumizes on one side, lengthens on the other. That's been a super favorite. But one of my favorite mascaras of the year has been a surprise to me. It's the Vapor Mesmerize Mascara. This gives me just like super fluttery lashes, but I really love, this was like a surprise favorite because I wasn't expecting to like this. I don't know why, but I really, really loved it this year. Will definitely rebuy this one. I just like the way it makes my lashes look. So here's one coat so you can see one eye from the other. I generally don't do, you know, many coats. I keep it pretty simple because it's just me home alone all day. Well, not home alone. I used to be home alone when my kid went to school. Oh, I got some up here. All right, we'll fix it in a minute. When my kid used to go to school and when my husband used to go to work, it would just be me alone all day. But now I'm never alone. I'm never gonna be alone again. I need to get a Q-tip because I majorly got it on my eyelid. Okay, so lips. I basically had 2 favorites. This is pretty much what I wore all year, or what I preferred to wear. I did wear lipstick sometimes, or like some other lip glosses I was trying out, but these were my favorite lip products to wear all year. The lip oil, the Kosas lip oils, I love, especially Jellyfish. I've got 2 of these. I keep them in like diaper bags, and just like, I love this color because it's super great when you don't know what you want to wear. You just want to wear like a clear gloss. It's really nourishing. In my opinion, I really like the formula of it. And then of course, the Fit Glow lip serums. These are always going to be a favorite. I hope they never stop making these. I hope they're in business for a long time to come. I will be extremely sad if they ever stop making lip serums or go out of business for whatever reason. But the lip serums I absolutely love. I have every single shade. I have swatch videos up on my channel. I really love them. They're expensive, but they're worth it in my opinion because the formula just is like no other. The colors are gorgeous. There's all kinds of colors and they're just beautiful. So I'm gonna keep it really neutral today, and I'm just gonna use my Kosas Jellyfish. Because I'm actually gonna take it off and do some like swatches of some lip serums in a minute anyway. Just for this video. We're just gonna put on the Kosas Jellyfish. Sort of neutral on the lips since we went, we didn't go crazy anywhere else, but just to keep it just like glossy and neutral. So those are my favorite makeup products for 2020. I mean, obviously a lot of these aren't new. There's only a couple of like new things that I discovered in 2020 here. But if I did like favorite new discoveries of 2020, I'd have like 3 things in here because I really prefer to use products that I love. Yeah, these are the things that I loved and I used all the time and I will continue to keep using and will probably be favorites of 2021 unless something truly spectacular comes out and rocks my world in 2021. But yeah, these are my all-time favorites. The things that I would keep rebuying, the things that I recommend to you guys all the time, the things that I'm always showing you and featuring, and yeah, here they are again. So here's what we came up with mostly Lima Pure products except for the eyes, really. Except for the eyes and the lips. Everything else is a Lima Pure. And a Lima Pure is pretty much what I'm wearing all the time, especially for foundation, because I love that pressed foundation. It's like basically the only thing I wear anymore. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that it was helpful if you wondered in one place what all of my favorites are, even though you probably could have figured all of these out based on what I've talked about and shared with you guys throughout the year. Let me know what your favorite makeup was of 2020. If you had anything, you know, that you think that I should check out, that you think is really great that I didn't talk about or that I haven't talked about yet. I would love to discover some new makeup in 2021. Though I have a lot of makeup that is sitting here that needs to be reviewed, so maybe we'll do that first. But whatever favorites you had, let me know, and I will check them out because I'm really interested in what you guys loved this year. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.